there was this place called the Rat Hole on campus, and it's this kind of bunker-like brick hole in the ground with no roof. You go down and it's full of leaves and trash and like old bikes, stuff like that. It's full of graffiti, but there's this really old door. So this was back in high school when I discovered the Rat Hole, and I spent a lot of time down there over the course of the 2 years, but then things happened and I graduated and I left. And so when I've come back, I tried to go and visit the Rat Hole, but they've mysteriously built on top of it. It's in a cage now. You can still kind of look into it, but there's a gated door and there's a bunch of like machinery put around it and gates. So I'm wondering what they're hiding.
We don't really talk about the rat hole. Like it's kind of a secret thing.
But we heard a lot of noises coming from within, and on the other side of the building you could see a little window into the basement, and sometimes you could see people moving down in there. It looked like an old boiler room.
That the creature like told me not to talk about him, and I really respect him in that way, so I don't really want to like share, if that's okay, about the creature in the rat hole.
But I think some people went and they never came back. Do with that what you will.
Have you ever seen a bird on campus?
I've seen a couple. Like big ones and like small ones.
Did they look convincing?
Once, I'm sorry. It was really scary. I'm like, it's really even hard to talk about, just.
I have, but only flying above, they never landed.
What do you think about that?
I think there's a force field. I think there's a force field around campus that makes birds not being able to land. And I think, you know what, I actually like that because birds are obviously surveillance for the government. So I feel safe. The fact that I've never seen a bird on campus. I've seen squirrels though. I don't know how I feel about the squirrels.
No comment.
I think that, well, birds, I feel like it's well known birds work for the government. Like, pigeons. There's so many pigeons in New York. There's so much crime in New York. I think those are correlated.
It opened its little beak, and it said, "Run now, or else we will get you." And no one believes me that it happened, but I promise that it did.
The doctors have told me that I'm insane, and I'm not. William, I am not insane. I'm telling you, the things that I know, they're real. And I know they're real. I'm not crazy.
The elephants on campus. Are you familiar with the elephant's statue?
The preserved ones. Preserved in stone elephants.
I don't think most people are. And like, I'm sorry. Did you know that the elephant on campus was a real elephant? And we just ground it up and put it into cement. And it was multiple baby elephants. I can't eat when that thing's right outside of the dining hall. I can't sleep when I see it out of my window.
Petrified creatures.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with them. I've seen people crawling on them. I've seen people fail to crawl on them. I've seen people fall. I've seen people die.
They couldn't kill a normal-sized elephant. They couldn't take it down, so they just kept picking off the babies. The babies, William.
When I was a young boy, I would put on my father's shoes and pretend I was an adult. Did that make me an adult?
Yes.
Does a chicken walking around in a penguin's shoes make him a penguin?
Well, if you were a millennial, would you have said, I'm adulting right now? Like, adulting so hard. If you, in that moment, would have said, I'm adulting right now, I think you'd be an adult.
I think at heart.
But otherwise, no.
Otherwise, no.
I mean, I did the same thing, so if I say no, that would be hypocritical. So yeah, I'm no hypocrite.
UNCSA has a long and violent history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Long. Some could say eons.
No comment.
How many people do you think in America are named after Pokemon?
Probably like 5. I've thought about it before.
At least 2. There's got to be, I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon. And I think a lot of them could be good names. Pikachu, maybe not. But like, Eevee, that's I know quite a few people named Eevee, and that's a Pokemon name. So, I'd give like a rough 3,000 people. Because the United States is really big. Final answer, 3,000.
I can't speak for the American population, but I can speak for myself and say that I am.
And what is your name?
So before I was kind of thinking, which Pokemon might have the most realistic names? And so I was thinking like Bulbasaur, Charmander, possibly. Eevee could be a third, but like, it was like 4 or 5, but yeah, it could be 6.
What is my name? Gengar?
No comment.
I have a lot of experience in Pokemon. They're real. I don't know. I feel that there's not enough. I think we need to bring up that number more because Pokemon are real. People just don't see them because the government gives you drugs every morning. They put drugs in the water actually to make you not see the Pokemon, but then once you start taking mass amounts of cocaine, you can see them again.
My cousin is named after a Pokemon. They named her Evelyn specifically so they could call her Eevee, and they spell it Eevee.
What do you think about RFK Jr.'s presence on the UNCSA campus?
I really just wish he brought the brainworm. That's who I wanted to meet, and he wasn't there, and that was a real shame.
I'm really hoping that he doesn't like take the pickle and like strap its dead carcass to the hood of his family's minivan and drive from, his family's vacation up to New York and leave it in the middle of Central Park. But if he did, I'd like probably be like, I'd get over it.
I didn't really care. I really wanted to meet the worm.
I just, there are a lot more animals here, I just hear goat sounds everywhere. Yeah. I'm not saying he has something to do with it, but like, we're just cool to pickles, not the goats, I mean, we are goated, but like, yeah, You know what I'm saying?
Just the worm. I'm a big fan of the worm.
Maybe
your thought
6.
process? What was your
Nuclear wall,
and what is your name?
nuclear wall. Talking about nuclear wall,
Thank you.
nuclear wall. The nuclear wall. They're talking
This is what
about
they did to those baby.
nuclear wall.
No comment.
It's a motherfucker. Don't you know? They're talking about nuclear wall. They're talking about nuclear wall. It's a motherfucker. Don't you know?